Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are and obviously when you're listening to this presentation. My name is Dr. Travis Mitchell and I wish to discuss a few pointers about beginning your practice. I've been in practice for 16 years as of the 24th of November 2020. And in my 16 years, I have certainly learned a lot about how practice works. This presentation does not matter what type of practice that you're in. It simply matters that you wish to find a way of serving people for the betterment of humanity. And I'll go through some of the key features of how to establish an abundant and profitable practice. Just so that you know a little bit about who I am, you can see that I am a 2004 University of Johannesburg graduate of chiropractic. I have built 3 chiropractic clinics from grassroots. I believe I'm a chiropractor. I've mentored many people towards helping them establish great businesses. I'm a prolific writer, a speaker, a father, and a husband. So what's your first point? Your first point of call is to understand your calling. Why have you chosen this profession that you're in? There has to be a reason behind that. For some people, it looked good on paper. For other people, perhaps you thought that you could make a lot of money in that profession. You will need to understand your reasons why. My father was teaching my brother and I how to use a trampoline, and unfortunately, it went pear-shaped. My father fell off the trampoline and damaged himself on the concrete on the side of the trampoline. And my mum rushed him off to a chiropractor who was able to restore my father to a full level of functioning. It took about 6 months, but I watched my dad go through that process and I found it amazing. What was the most important is my dad was able to come back to being that friendly, fun-loving, playful father that I knew. That made a massive impact on my life. And at 8 years of age, I looked at the chiropractor and I said, one day I'll become a chiropractor. So we have to ask the question, why did you choose to study in this profession? Hopefully, like Mahatma Gandhi, you wish to be in the service of others. But don't just tell me why you chose the profession. I want to know what is your deepest motivators for helping people. There's got to be a deep meaning. There's got to be a deep reason. There's got to be something in your heart, a heart desire that drives you towards making a difference in human beings. That heart desire, that power, that passion is what will create a wonderful practice, a fulfilling practice, something that will get you out of bed not only on the good days, but on the bad days as well. Part of understanding your calling is to understand who you are. You need to look in your own eye, stare at yourself in the mirror. Ask your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, your brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles. Ask them who you are. Ask them why they need you. Ask them what you're good for. Because everyone calls you on a regular basis because you're good for something. So you need to start looking at who you are and what you're good for. Your ikigai is a wonderful concept. It means your reason for being. Spend some time to study this and have a look at, number 1, what are you good at? Number 2, what are you going to get paid for? At the end of the day, we need to have a business that is profitable. But you've got to question, what does the world need? And it doesn't matter whether you have a brilliant, abundant practice. If you don't love moments of that practice, or at least the majority of that, it's certainly not going to drive you. So then we can start to find your profession. We can take it one step further and make it a vocation. A vocation is something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. We can talk about those things that are passionate for you, those things that make you get up in the morning, and that allows you to drive your vision, mission, and purpose. It's vitally important that every morning you look at your vision, mission, and purpose. Read it, understand it, and see that it still holds true for who you are. You have to spend time generating that vision, mission, and purpose. And what I would say to you is not everyone, as I've said, I'm a chiropractor, not every chiropractor has the same vision, mission, and purpose. And that's okay. What makes me unique, what makes me unique is why people come to see me. And you'll have people that don't want to come see you, and that's fine. They'll go find someone that they like. But those people that drive from the other side of the world to come and see you, it's because you have an intention behind your business. You know the service you wish to supply, and you know how you will deliver that service. And most importantly, that is of value to someone else. Remember, whatever is of value to someone, that's what they're willing to buy. These are some important rules that I've learned over the time, and it's the word of mouth rules. Patients, clients, people are looking for someone to help them. So if you can offer them the service that they require, they will stay in your office. Patients, clients, and people are looking for a place to trust. Be honest with them. If you are honest with them and you show them that you are willing to go the extra mile, they will be referring their friends and family to you. And that is where word of mouth occurs. What I have found is some of the biggest hiccups, the biggest hindrances to a practice are these two mechanisms. Number one, your intention. Number two, your logistics. Your intention is the thing intended, an aim or a plan. Going back to right in the beginning, I asked you, why are you called to this profession? What is your deepest intentions? Make sure that it's not just about making money. That is your vision, that is your mission, and those will form your core principles. That's what allows you to implement logistics, the organization and the implementation of your practice. Every practice I've ever been into has been different. There are differences based on the intentions behind your actions. The first chiropractor, he said that I made the adjustment with the intention to restore the hearing to Harvey Lillard. It's a complicated story, and I'll have to tell you at some point. But what are the intentions behind your practice? And how are you going to bring the organization and the operation of your practice into existence? The small things that you do, the way that you answer the phone calls, the way you direct your patients, the way you deal with your patients' billing, all of those make sense once you have your intention. Another rule is, how do we get patients or clients or people in the door? I've met with many practitioners as they start their journey. They sit at their desk waiting for the call to ring. And unfortunately, the calls do not come in. And that builds into their negative mindset, their negative self-appeal, and they start to think badly upon themselves. You've got to go out and meet and greet people. If the people in your neighborhood, in your area do not know who you are, you're going to struggle to get patients or clients in the door. Go out and meet the grocery store and the butchery and the coffee shop, the veggie shop, whoever you can find in your area around you. Go and meet them. Go and greet them. Tell them exactly who you are and why you're there. Find out who they are and why they're there. Community builds together or falls apart together. I have found that a fundamental of growing a successful business is based on those deeper intentions, those callings, those reasons in your philosophy as we've just chatted. And once you have that pinned down, you can start to teach that to people. You should now have a story to tell. Please make sure that you learn how to communicate. I went and did Toastmasters for 2 years solid to learn how to communicate. There is an art to communication. Then you need to spend time every day telling your story, teaching people your concept. Educate, educate, educate. But remember, have passion and have focus. There's no point telling a story if you're not passionate about it. Now, where do you start? I have started practices where I started on credit card slips. I didn't have the money, so I opened up credit cards so that I could start the practice. They were in ugly buildings and I painted the walls myself. I made sure that the carpets were clean. I scrubbed them. I did what I needed to do. It was all about the start. Starting small does not matter, but start. I had patients coming in even though the carpets were wet, even though the paint was still fresh, even though I didn't even have a proper chiropractic table. Once you have that drive, that desire, that passion, starting is all that you need to. As soon as that door opens, you'll see how that excitement, that energy, that drive brings people towards you. You will always be perfecting your practice. That's why we call it practice. I hope this has stimulated you, challenged you, given you some food for thought. Please feel free to contact me on one of these means, and I'll gladly guide you forward. From my point of view, have a wonderful day, God's blessings, and make sure you make a difference in someone's life.